request MAIA GANATRA, please be on stage and enchant us with your stories.
Many, many, many years ago, my grandfather met a man from Nigeria. And the man said to him, "Let me tell you a story about the girl who married a skull." And that's the story I'm going to tell you today. The girl's name was Afyong. Afyong was the famed beauty of Calabar and all the villages, towns, and cities. She was so beautiful. Oh, caramel sun-colored skin, high cheekbones, liquid eyes, tall and stately. So it was little wonder that men from all around the country came to ask for her hand in marriage. And they brought with them cola nuts, they brought with them coconuts, they brought goats and sheep and cows. And I heard one of them also managed to get an elephant. Yes, there was gold, there was silver, there were diamonds, there was anything that a woman's heart could want. They came hopeful, and often, in fact, always, they left dejected and in despair. Because Afyong wasn't just beautiful, she was vain, and she could also be cruel. Did you fall down on your face as a child? Look at your nose. It's so squashed. What happened? Why that hump on your back? Too tall, too short, too fat, too thin. Always something or the other. Her parents were furious and they were embarrassed. They tried to speak to her, "Afyong, you can't keep doing this. Which kind of a man are you going to marry?" Afyong scoffed. "The man I marry will be like a god. He will be tall. He will be so well built. Charming, so charming, he could convince a wasp not to sting him." Exactly. Now, Obi, the skull who lived in the spirit world, had heard about this Calabar virgin's beauty, and he decided to check for himself if the rumors were true. And so he got ready for the journey. He went to each one of his friends. From one, he borrowed a body. From another, a pair of fine legs. Yet another gave him arms. And finally, he went to his best friend, Oya. Oya was just sitting down to a meal. A fresh young sailor who had washed up. He was handsome. Oh, so handsome. And Oya was really looking forward to digging in and eating. When Obi came and he said, "Oya, what a fine young man. Do you think I could borrow the skin? Because I have some work in the mortal world." Oya wasn't too happy about this. He'd been looking forward to knowing and sucking on the skin, but Obi was his best friend, and so grudgingly he said, "Okay, go ahead." Obi sliced the skin of the young dead sailor and wrapped it around himself. "How do I look?" Oya looked him up and down. "You, my friend, are a handsome devil." Afyong was bored. She was bored of the routines. She was bored of the same things every day. She was bored of the markets and the same stalls and the same chatter. But most of all, she was bored of the men. Oh, same men. They had no charm, no skills in speaking. They just did not know how to flirt. She was thinking this sulking when suddenly her friend came up and said, Afyong, have you heard? There is such a handsome young man in the market. Oh, a stranger from far away. Afyong didn't need to be told twice. She jumped up, put on her favorite dress, the one that gave her a little bit more oomph, checked herself in the mirror, oh, ravishing as always, grabbed her basket, and went to the marketplace. She went from one stall to another to another. Where was this young man that her friend had told her about? Oh, the stall that she was looking for was right at the corner of the market. It was filled with the most beautiful dresses, jewelry, makeup, but nothing was as beautiful as the man who stood behind those wares. Oh, he was fine. Ladies, when I tell you he was fine, he was fine. He was tall. He was so well built. And you know, we all love that dimple in the cheek. He had that as well. Full lips and liquid eyes that you could drown in. Oh, well, she was looking at the makeup and the clothes and the jewelry when Obi laughed. A beautiful woman like you doesn't need makeup. Afyong blushed. So where do you come from? And this tangele is so pretty. I've never seen such a pretty silver ever. They started talking. Afyong looked into his eyes and she fell in love. They spoke for many hours, and that evening she took Obi home with her. And Obi asked Afyong's parents if he could marry her. This was not the custom in Calabar. The families got to know each other. The parents came home. What was this young man doing, just demanding their daughter's hand? Well, Azele, Afyong's mother, was not impressed. Do our customs mean nothing to you, young man? Where are your parents? Obi explained that he only had his old mother, who was very, very frail and could not travel, and lived a long way away. So that therefore he had to come there. But I will pay the bride price, anything that you ask, because I love Afyong and I really want to marry her. Well, Afyong's mother and father looked the young man up and down. They were not happy, but Afyong stamped her foot. This is the only man that I will marry, otherwise I won't get married. Well, there was nothing else that they could do. And so it was decided that the marriage would take place in 2 days, because Obi said they had to get home, because home was a very long, long way away. All of Afyong's dreams about having a grand wedding came to nothing. Her parents would not even get a large goat. They got the smallest, skinniest goat that they could, and they only invited a few of the neighbors and made some yam and meat soup. Her idea of having her hair done with the plaits and the beautiful braids and the makeup, nothing. The braids were lopsided. The makeup, yeah. So the marriage didn't really go well. But the day after the marriage, Obi said to Afyong, we need to leave now. He was getting a little bit tired of the way that he was being treated by his in-laws. But Azele, Afyong's mother, could sense there was something behind this handsome, charming face. There was something evil. There was something insidious. I need to find out. I have a feeling in my gut, something is not right here. Before they set out, I need to go to the council of the witches, and I need to know what is happening. And so she said to Obi and Afyong, of course you can head off, but why don't you wait just a little while? I'll go to the market, I'll get some meat, and I'll make you some lovely stew, so at least you eat before you leave. Obi nodded. Okay, we'll wait for you. So, so Azele, she headed out and she went to the council of the witches. As soon as she entered the threshold, the energy started changing. The air felt like it was trembling. She saw a man standing just outside the hut. And he looked at her, took aside the hide curtain, and she went in. When she went in, she saw skulls of animals hanging on the walls. She saw bottles filled with strange liquids, calabashes filled, powders everywhere. But then when she saw the creature sitting in front of the little fire, she almost screamed. He was skinless. She could see the blood pumping. She could see the nerves moving in the body. He was sitting, crouching near the fire. The creature looked at her and smiled. Skin, skin, come and wrap yourself around me. We don't want to scare our visitor. The mute man who had let her in walked inside the hut and hugged the creature sitting there. And somehow they melded into one, and it became a human, the witch. Ah, you have come here, he said, to find out about your daughter's husband. You are right. That is no human being. It's an evil spirit from the spirit land. Afyong's mother jumped in horror. She respectfully laid down some money and she was about to leave the hut when he said, "Where are you going?" "Well, I need to stop my daughter from leaving with Obi. She's going to take her to the spirit land." Oh, it's too late for that. They left the moment that you left the house. As they walked out, the witch's laughter ringing in her ears, and she went home and she told her husband everything that had happened. The spirit land? Our daughter has been taken to the spirit land? Nobody ever comes back alive from there. They waited a few days, and then they did the rituals for her death. Afyong and Obi had been walking for many, many hours. Afyong had kept up a steady stream of chatter, talking about how upset she was with her parents and how her hair was lopsided and how they didn't have a big goat for the wedding and how much she was looking forward to her new home and to meeting her mother-in-law. And she didn't realize that Obi had not said a word. He just kept walking straight ahead. As they continued to walk, the landscapes around them started changing. The trees grew sparse. The air started getting hotter and stickier. The ground underneath their feet was rocky, and pools of thick, poisonous, sulfurous liquid started bubbling and popping around them. Large caves popping up everywhere. Are you sure we're going the right way? Afyong said. Obi didn't reply. They had just come to a really large hole in the ground. "Jump," he said. "Well, what? Jump?" Before she could even finish her question, Obi gave her a hard push, and she found herself tumbling down, down, down. Her skin, her face, her clothes being ripped by the sharp rocks that were protruding throughout that whole hole. And she landed with a painful thump. Before she could even catch her breath, Obi came tumbling down after her. She turned on him, furious. But before the words could even come out of her mouth, she saw coming up the valley the strangest creatures that she had ever seen. They weren't human. They weren't animal. They were broken. There was something wrong. They were oozing pus and blood and all sorts of strange liquids. One of them came, he didn't have legs, and he was pulling himself along with his arms. Another one had legs, but no arms. Another one, no body. Her horror grew when she saw how Obi greeted them all like old friends. Oh, yes, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. And then as she watched, each one of them asked Obi for what they had lent him. Ah, yes, of course. And with a exactly, he gave the legs to one of them. The other one came and took the arms that Obi had stretched out. A third one took the body until finally it was just the skull and the skin. His friend Oya had just been waiting for this. Oh, Obi, so lovely to see you again. He took the skin, started chewing it, and they all walked off. Afyong didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to say. Obi, who was now just a skull, happily bounced off in front of her, and there was nothing else that she could do but follow, because she had no idea how to get back home. And so she followed him to a small little hut, a thatched roof hut, broken down. And right in the front of the hut sat an old woman. Surprisingly, it was a human woman, Obi's mother. The old creature was rocking back and forth, rocking back and forth. Obi ignored her and just rolled himself into the hut. Afyong could no longer hold herself back. She just burst into tears. The old woman awkwardly patted her on her back and got up and said, "Let me make you a cup of tea, my dear." But when Afyong saw that she was struggling even to get up, she said, Mother, you sit. I will make the tea." And so she made the tea and they sat together and they talked. And slowly, Afyong noticed that the roof was leaking, so she fixed that. The windows were rattling, so she fixed that. She started making this little hut a warm and reasonably comfortable home. And they started feeling really comfortable with each other. Until one day, there's always a one day, isn't there? Until one day, Obi's mother said, "My dear, Spirit Land is filled with cannibals. And I just heard Obi saying that tonight, he and his friends are going to make a feast out of you. You have been so kind to me, and I'm going to help you. You can help me? You can help me get out from here? Yes, I will help you. But you must promise that you will listen to your parents because they want what's best for you." I promise. Afyong didn't have to even think twice. Very well. First, we'll call the spider, who is such a good hairdresser, to do your hair. So Spider came and braided Afyong's hair into beautiful plaits and made a lovely hairstyle. And then the old woman gave her anklets and necklaces and armbands because she had been so kind to her. And finally, she went outside the hut. And somehow she didn't look as weak and as old anymore. She looked strong and she looked powerful. She started muttering some words under her breath, started doing juju. And suddenly this huge tornado came up and started revolving right outside the door of the hut. No, 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 no. Too strong, too strong. You're going to really hurt the girl. Off you go. So the tornado went far away. The woman muttered some more under her breath. This time, a gentle wind came floating past. Yes, this is just the right amount, she said. Afyong was all ready, and she came out of the hut, and she almost sat on the wind like a seat. And the wind gently started carrying her away. And when she looked down, she saw Obi and his friends were starting to make their way towards the hut. She had left just in time. The wind continued to move back towards the mortal world. Afyong's mother had been thinking about Afyong. And she felt the wind before she saw her daughter. And running outside the hut, she was just in time to see Afyong gently landing on the ground. They hugged each other, they held each other, they cried, they laughed. For who had ever come back from the spirit world? Oh, my daughter, you are back. I can't believe you are back. And gently she led her back towards her home. Afyong's father had laid out beautiful, soft carpets on the floor so his daughter's feet may not touch the earth. And Afyong walked. She was tired. She was exhausted. After a few days of rest, Afyong's father invited all of Afyong's friends, and they had a grand feast which lasted for 5 days and 5 nights. There was singing, there was dancing, there was storytelling. And of course, you can imagine her story was told over and over and over again. When this was finished, Afyong's father went to the chief to tell him what had happened. And the chief passed the law in Afyong's honor that from that day on, no maiden in Calabar would ever marry a stranger again. Afyong was asked by her father whether she would marry the son of his best friend. And of course she said yes. And as far as I know, and as far as what I've been told, they did live happily ever after. Thank you. Thank you to all of you, like Rajat, right?
Yes.
Rajat had said, without you, we can't tell tales. So thank you so much for being such amazing listeners. Thank you to Udaipur Tales, and thank you to Sushmita for giving me this opportunity. Thank you again.